Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is. Curbmeister Klotz, back in the garage, working on my GT40 kit car. It's a race car replicas kit car. Today's video, I'll be going over what I've been up to. I know it's been a while. Been working on that. The dash, sanding, painting, priming, installed the gauges, wired up the lighting, the switch panels are on. I didn't think it would be a very exciting video to show me doing sanding and painting. Anyway, so I'll be going over some of the progress I've had. I do have the fuel tanks out for welding. A buddy of mine's going to weld them up. He's had them for about a week. I told him it's no rush, no hurry, whenever he gets it done. And also the wheels now are about 1 month out. So they set about a 2 to 3 month turnaround for those wheels. So maybe a month or two, I might see the wheels. Today's episode, I need to pull the engine. The LS7 has a dry sump oil system, and I need to make some holes in the chassis to run the oil to and from the sump. I'll show you all that. And as far as pulling the engine, I have that nice plate that goes over the intake valley there. You remove the intake manifold, and then you bolt that plate on and lift it any way you want. But I'm going to try and do it with the intake on, and I have the firewall in the car now, so we'll see how hard it'll be to remove that engine. I'm anticipating having to take the engine out of the car several times, even in the future after the car is running, just because that's the kind of guy I am. So I'll show you what I've got to lift the engine. I've kind of got it set up now. Kind of see the cherry picker there. Yeah, I'll do a walk around, show you kind of what I've been doing, and then we'll start pulling the engine. Okay, the last couple weeks, this has been taking up most of my time. So I got the dash sanded, primed, painted. Had to do a little body work along this seam here. Wanted to have a nice smooth finish. And I got my Speed Hut gauges in there. I like them babies. Of course, if you guys remember, I did a video, engine jeweling. I'll be mounting my toggle switches here. And of course, steering wheel comes out here. AC, that's a good thing. And I'm happy how the dash came out. Did have to cut more than I'd like here, but if I ever want to take the dash out, I'll be able to remove the dash without lifting the spider off the car, windshield spider assembly. So that's big. And I've got the wiring for the gauges for the backlighting. I'll try and get it dark in here and show you what that looks like. Gauges look like almost in the dark. I like the lighting. So the numbers and the pointers are lit. Tachometer front and center. That's the most important thing there, your oil, your speed, engine speed, and your water temperature. That's as dark as I could get it in here. Anyway, shifter, I like that. Shifts pretty smooth. I added some beef to the, see if I can show you. This right here, this threaded rod, all thread, to the chassis. You'd basically, if you pulled up on the steering wheel, you'd just flex this whole thing. This is steel, this is aluminum, and you could flex it. So now, there's a little beef in there, down to the chassis. Both sides, a little bit firmer. Of course, I've been running more wires for the dash gauges and stuff. It's easier to do without the dash in place. So that's cockpit. Probably wondering what's going on here with this pieces of metal, the chain. This is a skid off of an airplane. It's tungsten. It's heavy. And trying to bend down that lip, sit flush. I will be putting a rubber seal in there, but I need it to come down some. So I've got some weight there and some weight over here. If it doesn't come down in a week or so, I'll add some heat, get that baby to come down. A lot of you guys were wondering when I was doing my alignment way back that why I didn't do the fuel tanks first. Well, I knew that I had an upper and a lower ball joint, and that I can disconnect that and not lose my alignment, and then I can slide the fuel tank in easy. So last video I was cutting the tank, and I have a buddy, Tony, that's welding it up, putting it back together again so I can install it in the car, which is very cool. He's a great guy and an excellent welder. I'll be needing to put some sort of access hole in here so I can check for leaks. And if I ever need any maintenance, the sender and the connection for the fuel pump will be under there. So I'll have to, that'll be another video. So today's video, I want to remove the engine so I can connect up my dry sump. I'll show you more on that. So you can see my setup here. That's pretty good beef there on that steel and those chains. I did cut a chain, added a clevis there, and another clevis there. They're rated at 1,000 pounds each. So we should be good there. Cherry picker is set at 1/2 ton, 1,000 pounds. We won't pass that up. I have this goodie here that I like, but today I would be removing the intake manifold and the valley cover, and so I thought I'll give this a shot with the chains. So I made it just what I think is going to be just right. I'm the kind of guy that will be having this engine in and out of here several times. So one of my buddies thought I needed some exhaust tips. So there you are, Coors exhaust tips. I'm probably the only car in the world with Coors exhaust tips like that. Anyway, cherry picker set at 1/2 ton, 1,000 pounds. Engine transaxle I'm thinking 600 pounds. Okay, there's my sump right there, that long cylinder. And those are the to and from oil lines for it. And they connect to the oil pan. Let's see if I can show you that. So down there, we can get this to focus. Next, there's some rags tucked in there right now. And that's where those oil lines have to go. Now there's no room for me to get a drill in there. I have to drill through the chassis, through here, and then also through right here is a weld. I take my hand away, you can see the weld. I have to drill through there. And this sump itself, a little bit too tall. So either I got to cut the sump or I got to cut the body work. Thinking I'm going to cut the sump. The magic, I've had it apart. The magic of the sump is in here. So it de-aerates the oil, cools oil a little bit, you know, makes the oil basically more of a liquid than a foam. And this is just a sump. There's just a tube going all the way up. So the oil comes out, goes around and around, and then it goes into the sump. So if I cut maybe like 5-6 inches off of it, I'll have to build a reservoir for the side of it here. And that's what Chevy did in 2009 anyway for the Z06. And so I have a cut line already where they welded it up. So I'll use their flange, I'll cut it there, and I'll have my buddy Tony weld it up. So these are the GM factory lines, and they have a different kind of O-ring fitting. I'd like to keep that fitting on the block so I don't have to take the oil pan off and, you know, check for shavings and all that kind of stuff. But I might change the I might go to an AN fitting on the sump itself. So today we're going to lift up the engine, get it out of there, and I already marked where I need to put the holes for the oil lines for the dry sump to and from. So I'm going to set the camera on a tripod, and you and me will be the first to see how this thing comes out, one person. Firewall's in, engine and the drive, accessory drive system is all set up. We'll see how it goes. Stick around. Remove the forward motor mount bolts. They go here, and on the other side, I think I'll take off my custom exhaust tips here. Get rid of those. And the stub shafts are just sitting in there now. So take those off. I think I'll just set them down here. That's where I've been setting everything. This one's in there a little better than the other one. There we go. Still have to get the correct bolts. This shifter is already adjusted, so let me take that bolt out. Probably ought to switch this to just a regular bolt instead of the special fastener Torx that Porsche uses. was afraid of losing the special clips that clip these things on, so I just use tape. So now, this is just sitting in here. We can take that out. Put that on the bench. So I believe the only thing holding it are these bolts down here. Let me get a light on it. So right down there, pretty hard to see. This way here, you can see that there's a fastener that goes through. This is called the horseshoe. I've already got the nut off. Kind of see that bolt down there. Same thing on the other side. The horseshoe, spacer, the motor plate, engine mount. So I think I'm going to turn off the camera while I get that loose. And then it should come out. All right, all the bolts are removed. First time trying this. Got the transaxle supported here. Engine supported over here. I have to lift it and pull it aft at the same time. So let's see if I can do this. All right, I'm not able to lift it up high enough to be able to pull it aft. So I'll remove the idler pulley and the serpentine belt. We'll give it another go. I'm going to place a big old putty knife in here just to be sure I have clearance. That worked. I'm high enough up. Now I need to pull back. Putty knife will just fall. So it's touching the air conditioning compressor. Again, I'm using the putty knife to make sure it doesn't hit, since I'm by myself. I'm going to bring up the aft end a little bit. I think it should go back. Oh. Success. It's up. It's free. Wasn't too bad. I had interference here with the firewall, but that's what the putty knife was for. No scratches. Everything's good. So I had to clear the motor mount from the chassis mount. Same on the other side. It's up. I got the aft end supported here. Pretty good. I wanted to see if I could do it by myself with the chains and not taking off the intake manifold. So I'm happy with that. Nothing's hitting. Plenty of beef there. And there. Here's another look at the car without the engine. Just hanging out. I've laid the oil lines in place. And I've marked a couple of, this is where my holes are going to go for these lines. These two lines go into the sump for my oil. And you can really see now these bolts. And they pick up this is the horseshoe. That's a lot of beef there, pretty solid. There's one on each side. So the engine's supported right here on this structure. It's supported in the front on these mounts. And I have a plan. I've changed this angle iron from aluminum to steel. I'll be grabbing the snout of the transaxle. I'll show you when I get that done. That's about it for today. I need to clean up and pop those holes in there, and I'll do some more filming tomorrow.